Hey everybody, welcome to Vegas Tips and Tricks. It is Saturday, April 20th. That means something to some of you, but not to me. Happy Easter to everyone. And today on Vegas Tips and Tricks, we're going to talk about the best of the best when it comes to hotels in Las Vegas. We've talked about getting a great deal or getting the best bang for your buck. But if you want the very best of the best, that's what we're going to talk about today, and some of the choices may surprise you. As kind of a preamble to this, I think people who have traveled extensively around the country would probably say there are three things that are a bit surprising about Las Vegas hotels. Number one is the sheer size. They're extraordinarily large. Like half of the biggest hotels in the world are in Las Vegas, on the Las Vegas Strip. Second is the value. And even with the parking fees and resort fees, the price of a comparable room in cities like New York or Chicago or San Francisco would be many times over what you're paying in Las Vegas. The third piece of it, though, that's a bit of a negative, and I think goes back to the size of the properties, is there's a lack of personalized service. If you've gotten used to staying in a hotel where you can ring up the maintenance or ring up the front desk or deal with the concierge and really having your personal needs attended to in a quick manner, you're probably not getting that level of service at most Las Vegas casino hotels. And that's why our first category we're going to talk about, which is best overall hotel, I'm going to have a category for the casino hotel, but I also want to recognize two properties that are kind of off the radar for a lot of people. Expensive, but you want the best. Do not have casinos, but do have a very high level of customer service. So in the category of best non-casino hotel in Las Vegas, I'm going to select the Four Seasons and the Waldorf Astoria, which for the better part of a decade was the Mandarin Oriental. Smaller properties, both fairly conveniently located. Four Seasons on the top level of the Mandalay Bay Tower, so you have access to all of the amenities of Mandalay Bay, but you get to feel a little bit above it all, and you definitely get a level of service you're just not going to get at the big casino properties. Four Seasons is a brand all over the country, and if you've stayed at a Four Seasons, you know you're going to get that attention to detail that you don't get at so many mega properties. It's a great property if you have a family that you're bringing along. Again, they're not the best rooms on the Strip. I'm not sure I even want to do that category, but they're very nice, very well appointed, very comfortable, and they'll take care of you. Same thing at the former Mandarin Oriental. Now there has been a change over in ownership there, or management I should say, and there was a concern that there would be a decline of quality, and there may be over time, but the feedback I've gotten from people that have stayed there since then is that the property continues to have a very high level of customer service, and that essentially a lot of nameplates have changed, but basically the same people are there, and they're still getting a very high level of service. Again, at the base room, maybe not the best rooms, but the best hotel. For best casino hotel, I'm going to recognize Wynn. I think from the very beginning this has been a property which, despite its great size, has managed to cater to the individual guest of the hotel. Again, a great attention to detail here, and I'll give a personal anecdote which means nothing by itself, but I think is somewhat typical of what you can expect when you are staying or playing at the Wynn. A few years ago I was there, was playing a machine, got sort of sidetracked about that, got up, walked away, and about 5 minutes later I realized I'd left my jacket hanging over the side of the chair. Well, it was certainly no expensive jacket, and I was certainly not in some high-limit room playing a lot of money, but when I returned to the machine in the hopes of retrieving the jacket, there was a security guard who was just standing there, kind of keeping an eye on it. I thanked him, of course, for doing it, Obviously he had paid attention to me, knew when I left, and knew that I had left a belonging there and was keeping an eye on it. So I thought that was a very surprising thing, and I would not expect that service at most properties. But again, the feedback from people that have stayed there is frequently very much the same, that this is a property that is going to cater to your needs. If I was going to do a best rooms category, it would be very difficult to do, because what do I choose? Best entry-level room at different properties, the best of the best rooms, the very, very, very best most of you are never going to be able to afford or will never stay in. As far as the standard room, though, it's going to be hard to beat the standard rooms at the Wynn. I mean, they're huge, they're comfortable, all the luxuries you could ever want. So that's a good choice. We're going to talk about a few other best ofs today. If you want the best view, and you know, some people pay extra money and they want the view. Some people are like, I'm never going to be in the room, I don't care. But if you want the very best view, you need to get a terrace suite at the Cosmopolitan. The rooms are fine, the hotel is fine. I'm actually going to give it another award here in a few minutes. But if you've got a terrace and you can walk out onto that terrace, you have literally a breathtaking view of Las Vegas. And if you're fortunate enough, or you pay a little extra, you can look out over the Bellagio fountains as well as all of the center strip area, and it's extraordinary. You know, you can sit out there for hours just enjoying the experience. So best view, in my mind, no doubt about it, it's Cosmopolitan, the suites, the terrace suites, and a wraparound suite if you can afford it. So there you go. Best location. I'm going to give this one to a small hotel, which I do think has a very high level of customer service. Very nice, very quirky, sort of fun, kind of boutique style hotel rooms, and that's the Cromwell. You can literally be from your room to the sidewalk in about 2 or 3 minutes. And that's not an exaggeration, and that's not unusual. 5 minutes tops. Some hotels you're going to have trouble getting to the elevator in 5 minutes. And certainly making it out to the street. And when you get to the street, you're right there by Bally's, you're right there by Bellagio, you're right there by Caesar's Palace, you're by Flamingo, you're right in the center of the action. So Cromwell, easily best location. How about if you want to eat? You don't want to go all over the place to find a place to eat. Where should you stay? I say, again, pick the Cosmopolitan. You could pick a lot of other hotels that have a lot of great restaurants. You know, Caesars, MGM, Wynn, Venetian, Bellagio. A lot of places have a lot of great upscale dining options and some more moderately priced options. But I think overall, you look at the Cosmopolitan, there is such a variety of food options here, from low end to very high end. But I think this place excels at sort of the middle ground. Places that are nice, have good quality food, won't entirely break the bank. You've got a great buffet, you've got a burger place, you've got the old secret pizza place. Anything you could possibly want to eat here, you can pretty much get here. And they just added the Block 16, I think that's right, food court, which adds a number of additional dining outlets. So if you want to stay someplace and you want to eat there, you want a variety of options, I don't think you can beat the Cosmopolitan. How about best pool? This is going to be, I'm not going to even bother spending a lot of time on it. I think it's Mandalay Bay. I don't think it's close. Now obviously the place can get crowded as all get out because everybody thinks it's a great pool. So, you know, maybe if you stay at the Four Seasons, you can have their secluded little pool, but also access to the Mandalay Bay. Or Delano, also access to the Mandalay Bay pool, but a private pool as well. So maybe that gets around that. But just the best pool complex around. Here's one that I decided I was going to look up. Best equipped hotel room. One thing that also surprises travelers when they come to Las Vegas is they get to their room, there's no fridge, or if it's there, it's full of high-priced mini bar treats. No coffee maker, no microwave, nothing, no kind of facilities. It's like, it's no good. You get off strip, you can find a number of places that will have more facilities along those lines. But on or right about on the strip is the Vdara Hotel. You see full-size refrigerators, you see full kitchens, you see washers and dryers in some of the rooms. You could live at the Vdara. And if you get tired of living at the Vdara, you just go down to the lobby, you make a left turn, and you're at the Aria Hotel and Casino in a few minutes. But if you're just looking for a place where you got access to some of those facilities, particularly maybe for an extended stay, you're going to pay a little bit, but I think the Vdara comes in very well at best equipped room. Interesting category, huh? So anyway, that's our discussion of the best when it comes to hotels in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts? What's the best hotel you've stayed in? Have you had a bad experience at some of the hotels I mentioned? Or do you have a good experience you'd like to share with myself and the other subscribers? Please do so. Be interested in your feedback. We didn't talk about off-strip, we didn't talk about downtown. We'll do that at some point, but I just wanted this to kind of be centered on the strip today. So, got an exciting video coming up this Wednesday. Not going to tell you about it, but we may actually end up being in 2 parts because it's pretty long. Something I did on the last trip that I have not yet shared with you, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back next Saturday with another tips and tricks video. Until then, have a great and lucky week, and we'll see you soon.